You can work harder, buy another course, create another plan, and promise yourself that this time it will be different. But if you keep bringing the same habits, fears, and version of yourself into every new opportunity, you will keep creating the same results, bro. I know that sounds harsh, but I'm not telling you that you're lazy or incapable. You may be working harder than anybody else around you. But hard work does not automatically mean you are changing. Sometimes being busy is how we avoid confronting the one pattern that keeps following us everywhere. If you're an entrepreneur who feels like you're doing everything, but still ending up in the same place, this video is for you. Because if you don't change, nothing will. Oftentimes we tell ourselves, I'm doing everything I can to change, to build the business, to get to the dream. You're working, you're learning, you're posting, you're planning, you're fucking sacrificing without seeing enough or any evidence. You're watching people around you move forward, but you're still quietly wondering, what am I doing wrong? Then you try to change strategies. You try to change goals. You get into different programs, try different businesses, more new plans, but you never confront the patterns that you bring into every new strategy. Then the slow progress becomes personal, bro. Right? You start thinking you're a failure, you're incapable, you're behind, that you're not built for this dream. And you know you're trying. You know you're giving it your all. You're exhausted. You keep showing up, but that's the thing, right? Even when the effort is there, if you don't handle what's inside of you, bro, it doesn't go away. You can change everything around you and still recreate the same life if you never change what is happening within you. I'll share this. There was a time where I bought this course to go full time with my purpose. And I didn't even touch it for 6 months, man. I even bought the same laptop that I'm using right now. And it was after my personal training studio had collapsed. That dream was done. And I was trying to build my next chapter, right? I was trying to build my next chapter. I invested approximately 1,000 into the course, and then about 2K into my laptop. And that was from the last 5K that I had. And again, the plan was to go full time. I was living with my parents. I was all in. It's the only thing I was doing. And bought the laptop and I invested because I wanted to burn the boats, right? I wanted to show myself that I was serious, that I wasn't fucking around. Like I really wanted to do this. I really wanted to help people. I really wanted to coach, right? I really wanted to inspire and motivate entrepreneurs, people that had a purpose, that wanted something out of their life. And despite wanting this dream so badly, bro, I did nothing with it. Right? I did nothing with this course for 6 months. And I started to feel shame. I started calling myself a failure, a loser. Look, Roy, you can't even take action on this thing that you wanted so bad. You can't even go through the first freaking module. I was beating myself up mentally. And from the outside, it looked like procrastination. But underneath it, I'm being brutally honest. It was fear, self-doubt, all the limiting beliefs I had about myself, unresolved trauma, the possibility of trying again only to fail again, because that wasn't the only time that I didn't keep my word, that I didn't keep my promise. If you're in a similar situation, bro, it's like you want to, but just something in you keeps stopping you. There's a limiting pattern. There's a limiting belief within you that hasn't been addressed. Once you get to the core root of that and you handle it, meaning you fucking feel it, and you stop running away from it, stop running from yourself, you'll be able to move on. Because after I did my own inner work, I got a coach. I bought a course for doing inner work, or a program for doing inner work as well. What do you know? I went into that. That's what I freaking needed at the time. Before, the mental shit is what has to be dealt with before you start to do the physical. And later on, when I was a coach for one of my old mentors, where I was helping him with his program, and I was selling the program, and I was a coach in the program. And what do you know? All the people who purchased the same course that I purchased, they were having the same issues. They just kept getting in their own way. They had low self-worth. They had this limited perception about who they were. They were afraid too. And that's the thing. Like, when you can't move forward, you keep making the same mistake or taking the same action. What are you afraid of? There's a deeper fear. You have to address that. Again, I was so afraid to fail again, because this was fresh out when I just left the personal training studio. When that dream came crashing down, I thought I was over. I thought I was done. I was barely 26, bro. Little did I know, the next chapter was just getting started, but I was so afraid to feel that pain again. But it's funny, because later on, that's how I created one of my most powerful processes, the truth process. And it's a 5-step process where I walked my clients through and I walk them through what I walked myself through at one point. And it shows them, it showed me that you're the exact opposite of all those negative things you think you are. And as you do this inner work, as I did this inner work, there's always more to do, but I started to realize that, you know what? I can do this. I even hit up one of my mentors and I'm like, his name was Jay. I'm like, Jay, I don't know if I can do this. I have this dream of helping other people like you do, right? Like I didn't even know it was really personal development at the time, but I reached out because I needed permission. I needed to give myself permission to do what I wanted to do. When you really think about it, how crazy is that? But I mean, I felt like a loser. I felt like a failure. I was living in my parents, right? I did inner work for 2 years and really went deep into the personal development niche. And I changed myself, right? From alcoholic 2 years later to wanting to help. I did a whole inner transformation in those 2 years, but I still didn't feel qualified. I still felt like an imposter. I still felt like I had very little to offer. I didn't have the fucking mansion. I didn't have the house, right? I didn't have the 100K a month or a year coming in. And I told him, like, Jay, I want to do this, but who am I? He replied, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Am I kidding you? And he said, go, 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 move fast, bro. I still have the screenshot to this day. I almost broke down. I was tearing up, but I almost actually broke down when I saw that because he believed in me more than I believed in myself in that time. I just needed permission. Just wanted to know that it was okay to go and do what I loved. And sometimes we need that, right? When we don't believe in ourselves as much as the other person does, or we're not there yet. If you're watching this, I'm telling you, go, go, go. What the fuck are you waiting for? I don't care where you're at. I don't care about your story. Go and help. Your self-worth has nothing to do with your ability to serve. You got to go get it, man. But you got to address what's in here too. If you want help, view the description. But all this, man, right? I was so afraid to fail. And I had the strategy. I had the program right there. Shit, a lot of modules. I didn't need strategy. And even with the people that I coached in the program that I sold, they had all the strategy. They still got in their way because it's not about the external shit. It's about the internal that you have to focus on, that you have to go into every single time. At that point, I needed to confront the version of myself that was afraid of another disappointment. Kept thinking my circumstances needed to change. But the real breakthrough began when I became willing to change. You see, there's an old saying, people don't resist change. They resist being changed. They have to decide for themselves. When my parents were telling me to stop drinking, I was so rebellious. I was like, no, Mom, I'm going to drink as much as I want. It was stupid, bro. But it was because I wasn't ready to change. And a mentor once told me too, like, Roy, what if it's not time for you to stop drinking? It didn't really make sense. I'm like, wait, what? I have to. I'm going back to my old ways, bro. I was telling him, like, I have to change. I can't keep drinking 2-3 times a week. But I don't even know if he realized he did this, but it was through a 3-month coaching program that I did with him. When he told me that, it took the pressure off. I was like, I have to change now. I have to change now. I have to change now. I was like just so overwhelmed with that constant thought. Once you take the pressure off yourself, watch how easier it is. Your body, you physically change, bro. Right? Your body relaxes. And it's funny because once I took the pressure off, I wanted to drink less. It's a nugget right there for you. Take the pressure off, right? You'll be more willing to change once you do. Another thing I wanted to share is you cannot outwork an unexamined pattern, right? More effort applied to the wrong pattern creates more exhaustion, not transformation. Every time I try to push myself when I'm at a certain level of fatigue, I just end up having to pay back that energy later. Because I can drink coffee, I can have stimulants, but every time I got to repay that, right? Sleep, that's real, bro. And I thought I could just push. I was having like 12 to 1,500 milligrams of caffeine at one point just to keep going and waking up at 5 a.m, and I fucked myself up. Because that's what I thought we had to do, right? We gotta go and get it. And I think you have to find your way in your definition of that. Because I should have been going to sleep earlier, right? I should have been having less stimulants and relying less on external shit for energy, artificial energy in a way. But that's the thing, as you're working, as you're getting there, you can be busy while avoiding the pitch, the conversation, setting that boundary or decision that actually matters. Sometimes we have this crazy work ethic because we're avoiding the harder decisions. We're avoiding some kind of pain. We're running from some kind of pain. Shit that we'll do whatever to not feel. And you can only run for so long. That's why there's no such thing as bypassing. It'll come back around, bro, like a fucking boomerang. It always comes back around. So you might as well get it over with. That's the way I see it. right? Whatever's trying to come through. You cannot wait for one client, a launch, a viral video, a mentor, or an opportunity to save you. That gives your power to an outcome you cannot control, right? Control what you can, like go where you cannot. But you have to have intentionality, because intentionality, that means becoming honest about what is driving your decisions. Do you feel like nothing? That's why you got to work your ass off. You feel like the only value you have is the work that you do because you're doing something. What happens once that stops, bro? You're in for a huge, huge surprise, because when your identity is so attached to your work and that work stops, who are you then? Are you still valuable? You still have a high sense of self-worth? The answer is no. You got something to think about. Maybe this can help you get some clarity on this. What pattern keeps following you into every new opportunity? What is it? What necessary decision have you been postponing? What emotion are you trying to avoid feeling? What do you keep blaming that you are responsible for changing? What promise have you repeatedly made and broken? Pause the video and go into this stuff, guys. This is where you get your answers. See, bro, you're not stuck because you need to know everything. You may be stuck because you keep avoiding the one truth you already know. What are you running from? Boogeyman ain't even that scary, bro, once you face him, right? That fear of failure, the fear of success, it's the same shit. You believe you're a failure deep down. And that's why you have to show yourself every day and work yourself to death to make sure that belief isn't true. But if you actually went into it, bro, and felt that, you'd see it that way too, that it isn't true. And once you realize that, you can move so much better. You can move different, because like Tony Robbins says, like he told Alex Hormozy, fuck suffering. Do it out of love. Do it because you love this shit. There's a difference when you're riding off pain and hurt and anger to success, and when you're riding from inspiration, fulfillment, love. Huge difference. But the only way you can even go from A to B is by doing this inner work, facing yourself. I've worked with ayahuasca. I've invested in coaching programs. I've gone to workshops. I've had many mentors, bro. And I've gone to spiritual retreats, quite a few, bro. And I would not be who I am and have the relationships that I have if it wasn't for all the work I've done internally. I just wouldn't. And that's the thing. You're going to have to do it eventually, because if you don't do it now, that's the thing with Mr. Beast. He said he doesn't really care about his mental health. It'll catch up, bro. Don't worry. It'll catch up. It always does. That's why people are rich and miserable, and they have horrible fucking relationships with their family, with their kids, because there's so much internal shit that hasn't been dealt with. So I used to think it was a curse. I used to think, let me get the money first, and then I'll do the inner work. But no, my shit was flipped, but I can see why now. But I'll share this. You have to stop requiring fear to disappear before you act. Begin doing the internal work and confronting the beliefs beneath your avoidance. This is a way to move forward. Stop avoiding the shit you know you got to go into and the stuff you got to do, right? And that's the thing too. Like, bro, when I started doing this and I started taking the actions that I've been postponing, what do you know? 3 months later, like when I bought that 6-month program, after those 6 months, or when I bought the program and did nothing with it for 6 months, after those 6 months, 3 months later, I signed my first coaching client. But within that time, those 6 months, I was doing inner work. I was challenging the limiting beliefs I had about myself. And more clients followed after that as well. I eventually helped over 30 people. And then the strategy became useful from the course once I was capable of following through. And then the strategy became useful once I became capable of following through. But I was only able to follow through because, again, the mindset work, the inner work I did before that. Change didn't happen overnight either, bro. It began with one honest decision and one promise that I was finally willing to keep to myself. Because here's the thing. Every broken promise teaches you not to trust yourself. Every promise you keep gives you evidence that your choices still have power. Here's my challenge for you, bro. It's my little exercise. Identify one pattern you know cannot come with you into your future. Then choose one promise you can keep for the next 7 days. That's it. Just 7 days. It could be creating for 1 hour, sending one pitch, making one call, taking care of your health, or having the honest conversation you've been avoiding. Not choose something to impress the world, bro. Choose something that proves to you that your word still means something. You do not have to transform your entire life this week, but you do need to stop giving the same version of yourself control over another week. Past may explain your patterns, but it does not have to keep choosing your future. If you're an entrepreneur fighting through fear, failure, self-doubt, and the pressure of building a dream nobody else can see yet, subscribe and walk this journey with me, bro. I want you to join me. Let's do this shit together. I'm still learning, rebuilding, becoming too. I got my flaws. I ain't perfect, man. I got, I've done quite a bit of work on myself and that, but I know there's still more to do. And remember, work hard when the moment requires it. There's a time to go ham. There's a time to go hard to really push yourself, but also you need a rest when your body requires it. Change the strategy when it is no longer working. But most importantly, be willing to change yourself. Because if you don't change, nothing will. I'll see you in the next video.